So ever since I put up my last Dagger Sicar video, I've gotten several comments and DMs about it saying, I don't have Charles, I don't like Charles, I don't want to use Charles, I don't have Mola in Charles, isn't there any way to do this without Charles? So yes there is, and my good buddy AdRocZ helped me out with this video footage. We worked on this team together and he ran it so that you could see how to obtain Dagger Sicar with respectable gear and no green Charles. So in this team you want to run Spectre Tenebria. She is our damage dealer and buff unit. On Kitty Clarissa you want to run the Cradle of Life artifact. The reason for that is because if you don't have 3 or more debuffs on ZENO, you do 30% less damage. It's hidden in his skills. You've got to click on and read his individual skills at the top of the screen there to find that hidden bit of information. We ran Camilla on Warhorn just to help cycle her skills and bring a little bit of damage to the rest of the team. And one of the pieces of tech in this is also to run your Tamarin on Prophetic Candlestick, because the hardest part is cycling your skills. As you see, we didn't quite get the skill cycling to have Tamarin's S3 ready for the break phase, so it takes a little bit of luck and timing to get all the skills to line up, but once you do, you should be able to push into the break phase. Now, the way this team works is you try to stall as long as you can. You hope Prophetic Candlestick procs, and that gives you some additional time. One of the ways to get additional time is to have Tamarin attack ZENO, because if you miss on ZENO, it procs Skill Null, and that helps you buy time. Tamarin's a fire unit, she's got a 50% chance to miss on ZENO and proc Skill Null, and that means you can have a Spectre Tenebria blast him and not damage him, and buy yourself a little bit more time to try to get her skills to cycle through. Unfortunately, we're beating that 50% here and not triggering the skill null. Okay, that dual attack, normally it's not great, but it gave us the skill null just in time for Tenebria to not do damage, and that is helping cycle the rotation. A lot of this timing is getting that skill null, hoping ZENO attacks your Tamarin to proc Prophetic Candlestick, etc. and so forth. Whatever it takes to get to this point right here. Tamarin's ready to go. You can transform her and push everybody up and give everybody an attack buff. Kitty Clarissa could transform now, but since we're ready to push phase, we'll go ahead and drop the attack in. Now in a perfect world, you get this kind of a situation. ZENO will cleanse 2 debuffs when entering into the break phase. If you have 3 debuffs up, you get to carry 1 through, and in a perfect world that 3rd debuff is poison, because poison is the bonus damage. If you don't get poison carried into it, that's okay, you'll establish it quick enough. And now we're doing maximum damage. We have poison and 2 other debuffs for 3 debuffs total for maximum damage. But we want to keep stacking debuffs, and we're doing a pretty good job. We're already up to 5 debuffs, 6 debuffs, and once you get above 6 debuffs, it's time to drop Spectre Tenebria's S3, because it does damage based on how many debuffs you have. We got 620k out of that S3. If you stack up to 7, 8, or 9 debuffs, you'll do even more damage. And there we are. If you are above 3 million, you should have a lock on Dagger Sicar. I think 2.7 million, you can probably pull it off, but it's going to be close. It really depends on how good your second phase is, so try to stack enough damage on your Tenebria that you can pull off 3 million exiting phase 1, kind of like this. Now we're in a little bit of a race. We need to burst ZEO down so we can get into the next break phase, but time it once again so that Tamarin and Kitty's skills are ready, but also you want to pay attention to Spectre Tenebria's skills. We want Spectre Tenebria's S3 to be 1 turn away from usage when we enter the break phase. And that's because you'll probably use her S1 at least once in the break phase, and then you want her next attack to be her S3, so you can launch that big damage S3 into a whole bunch of debuffs. Now it's okay to transform Kitty early and get these debuffs off of you, but unlike before where we were trying to not kill ZENO and stall for Tamarin. Tamarin's already going to be pretty close to transforming, so we can go ahead and burst her down. We'll get an attack buff on Tenebria and hopefully get a defense break. We did not get a defense break, but we did get a poison, which means extra damage, and that's nice. That provokes a little unfortunate, but the ad dies and the provoke goes away. Hey, we got 2 poisons up. Not that that really changes much. You need 3 to get the extra damage. Okay, so we have 3 poisons up, and that means we're going to push phase a little earlier than expected, but hey, we got to carry a poison across the threshold. We're going to have to waste 2 turns inside of the break phase, having Tamarin transform and then later having Kitty transform. This pushed a lot faster than expected, but having the poison to start with really works in our favor. And there we got a blind debuff, and now we're up to 3 debuffs, so we're doing maximum damage with the triple debuff and poison. And Tenebria was 1 away, so her S3 is going to be ready. Hopefully we stack more debuffs. There's a 4th debuff. It's early enough, it's worth it to go ahead and transform Kitty inside the break phase. And hopefully we get a debuff from her artifact. We did. And another poison. We're up to 6 debuffs. No defense break, so... But another... Okay, 7 debuffs. This is great. Wow, 8 debuffs. This S3 is going to hit so hard. Nice 750k damage. So here we are at 6.72 million exiting the break phase, and ZENO has 2.79 health. So that is exactly what we need. If we kill ZENO, that'll get us to 7 million, and the 1 million completion bonus gets us to 8 million. So this is really minimal, but as long as we don't lose, we'll be fine. Now remember, every time you attack ZENO, you push him forward. So we're going to avoid hitting him so he doesn't push forward, and that gives Tamarin a chance to heal everybody up. Because everybody was pretty hurt here, and every time ZENO attacks in this last phase, he does splash damage to the entire team. Like this. Hits and pop. So you want to make sure that you stay healthy enough to not get one-shotted by those pops. Now it's Tenebria's turn, and ZENO's pretty far back, so we'll definitely hit him. Get a poison. No poisons, unfortunately. No prophetic candlestick procs either. The dual attack's going to trigger Tenebria, so we'll go ahead and hit ZENO. With no attack buff, her S3 isn't going to hit ZENO very hard, and it's just going to CR push him, so I'll go ahead and hit this front ad, see if we can take some of the damage out by getting a defense break, or at least some damage, or a dual attack, so we killed that ad. Unfortunately, can't transform because we're silenced. Lucky resist on the silence on Tenebria there. Okay, so ZENO's getting close to his ultimate, but Tamarin's still going to be able to transform and cleanse the debuffs after that happens. So we'll go ahead and transform Kitty now, and this dual attack will do more damage and take care of that front ad. I'm pretty sure we've got the health to survive another attack. Okay, excellent. We got 2 poisons up now. Good. So now we definitely put the attack buff on Tenebria. We go for the S1 and hope we get the defense break with this attack into a dual attack. We got the defense break. Big hit. Oh, and the poison. Now we're doing great damage. ZENO's going to do his big bang attack, but I think we can burst it down. So we'll go ahead and transform Tamarin and S2, push everybody up, heal, and attack buff the entire team, and hopefully we can blast him down here real quick. Big hit. Oh, of all the times to miss. Stupid evasion. We got the poison back. Don't miss. He'd be dead by now if we hadn't procced that stupid evasion and skill null. Everybody's hurt. We lost the dual attack. Camilla's S3 just doesn't do that much damage without defense break or attack buff, so I think we'll just S1 into one of the ads so that we don't see our push ZENO up. When ZENO's not wearing debuffs and you hit him, he pushes up. Kitty, however, is going to pull Spectre Tenebria, and we do need the damage, so we'll go ahead and hit ZENO here, stack some damage on him. Hopefully a poison. We don't get a poison. One more big hit from ZENO. We're right on the edge. We'll go ahead and try the S3 to finish him off, and there it is. Because of the poison buff giving us extra damage, we were able to finish it off with an S3, and there is your Dagger Sicar score without Charles. Hopefully this helps you guys finish this event off. If you can't pull it off with Spectre Tenebria and this team, then my advice is just to wait for the next rotation. This was not an easy rotation. There have been easy ZENO ones in the past, but hopefully between the Charles video, linked in the description, and this video, you'll be able to get your Dagger Sicar score for this week.